Hello and welcome to another episode of the Energy Connects podcast. I'm your host Chiranjib Sengupta and we are just weeks away from the Global Energy Show Canada. From June 9 to 11 in Calgary, Global Energy Show Canada will bring the energy industry together to examine how global markets are shaping investment, infrastructure and supply in an increasingly constrained and security-focused environment. And the conversation this year has shifted. We are no longer just talking about transition, we are talking about transformation. And in two exclusive Energy Connects interviews, we've sat down with the architects of that transformation in Canada. Earlier this year in January, I spoke with the Honourable Tim Hodgson, Canada's Minister of Energy and Natural Resources. He spoke about a term that is now echoing throughout the sector, sovereign compute. Minister Hodgson outlined a vision where Canada isn't just a stable partner for oil and gas, but the engine for the global AI revolution. He explained that as the world moves towards massive electrification, Canada's roadmap hinges on nation-building projects.
With respect to offtake agreements, we have all of the things you're looking for. With respect to investing in our sector, we have, through what we've created something called the Major Projects Office. So when investors want to come to Canada, we will give them predictable timelines, certainty around regulation, which is really important to ensuring your investments are profitable. We have broad support in our country for exporting our energy. We have a geographic advantage. We are closer to Asia than energy shipped out of the US Gulf Coast. We have some of the cleanest products in the world, the lowest carbon intensity LNG in the world. We have done more to decarbonize our barrels of oil than any other country in the world, and we're offering that at the same price as other people. And we have a great skilled workforce. So particularly when you're looking to do things at scale, you need certainty. You need certainty of permitting. You need certainty of timelines. We're giving that through our Major Projects Office. When you provide that certainty, global capital will flow to the opportunity. And when you put technology to work at scale, we can change the economics of renewables. We can create baseload renewables. That changes the game. That helps us all get to net zero.
Minister Hodgson was very clear. The demand for electricity from data centers and the global south is an exponential curve. So what's Canada's strategy in dealing with that? Scaling up CCS to decarbonize the grid while simultaneously building the infrastructure for sovereign compute, ensuring that the data and energy that power the future stay secure and Canadian-led.
So it's really important for Canada that we all work together. We, in signing the agreement with Alberta, have reached an agreement with our most important energy-producing province on how we will price carbon going forward, how we will do things like control methane emissions. We're some of the leaders in the world in controlling methane emissions. We have agreement on using CCUS. So we'll be working on the largest CCUS project in the world. It's called the Pathways Project. That's going to decarbonize our barrels and create technology that we hope to export to the world.
The minister sees Canada as a primary global partner for energy, especially the global south, bridging the gap between traditional energy and the age of energy intelligence. But how does this national vision land on the ground? In an exclusive interview, we looked at Alberta's specific blueprint with Premier Danielle Smith. While the federal roadmap looks at global partnerships, Alberta is focusing on systemic resilience. As Premier Smith says, the shift in Alberta is profound. The province is moving from a phase of cost optimization to a primacy of security. Alberta's strategy is about turning its energy infrastructure into a strategic asset.
You'd mentioned hydrogen, and that is a real potential fuel of the future because it has such a ability and versatility, whether it's for heating, power, or transportation fuels, that if we can get the cost structure down to a point where it's competitive, I think there's a real opportunity there, because as you burn it, there's really no byproduct. So I think that's why it's out there as a potential exciting development. And we're already a developer of hydrogen. We're the largest producer of hydrogen in Canada, 2.5 million tons a year and growing. And so I would say that is one area where we think we're going to be able to see an example of how you can develop, take a traditional energy source, apply carbon capture, utilization, and storage, develop a new energy source, but still be able to grow your production. The way I've put it is that we're not transitioning away from oil and gas production. We're phasing away from emissions. And so we're finding new ways to use some of these products. Carbon capture, utilization, and storage is one promising development. We have projects at scale in both Saskatchewan and Alberta. Alberta has the Quest project with Shell that started up several years ago, as well as the Carbon Trunk Line. We've safely stored 14 megatons. Saskatchewan's further ahead than us. They've safely stored 50 megatons with their Weyburn project. And so we've demonstrated here, because we've got this unique geology, that we can do both. And so carbon capture, utilization, and storage will be one aspect. We also know that our energy companies are looking at other ways of decarbonizing their production. And so part of the big oil sands companies, they've joined in something called the Pathways Alliance. And one of the other aspects is not just a carbon capture project, but also decarbonizing by having an integrated grid across Western Canada, so that we can bring in more hydroelectric power, more nuclear power, maybe even have on-site small modular reactors. So that would be one other way. And then the last thing is direct air capture. And it's, when you first think about the idea of capturing CO2 from the atmosphere, you think, is this something that's really going to work? And I became more encouraged by it when I heard about the Haber-Bosch process, which is the way in which we take nitrogen from the air and turn it into fertilizer. And I think the chemists who realized that, I don't think they realized it would allow them to feed 8 billion people on the planet, but sure enough it did. And so I don't know all of the products that are going to be developed when somebody finally masters direct air capture of CO2, but that'll be up to some future entrepreneur to figure it out. But I think the chemistry behind that and the ability to do it is one that's worth striving for. And so we've got a direct air capture demonstration facility that started up in central Alberta as well, and they'll be working on that as a parallel track. So I'm feeling really encouraged. I believe so much in technology and innovation. When you look at this incredible industry that we have, oil and gas, it all started because they wanted to get one product out of a barrel of oil. They wanted kerosene in order to be able to replace whale oil. And then all of this leftover sludge, they said, can we make some product out of that? And sure enough, over this period of time, we now have 6,000 products that are made from a barrel of oil. CO2 may just be the next waste product that they have to find some useful purpose for. But I have a lot of confidence that they're going to.
During the sit-down interview, Premier Smith's focus was on Alberta's role as an electricity island, where the province is creating a buffer against geopolitical shocks. This isn't just about the transition, it's about future-proofing the workforce and the economy against a world that demands all colors and flavors of electrons and molecules.
Let me see if I can try to put it into the context of what we're experiencing. So we have at our peak about 12,500 megawatts of production as well as demand. And we know that because in the depth of winter in January a couple of years ago, we had to do a call out to people to turn off their lights because our grid was so stressed, we were worried about it failing. And thanks to Albertans, it didn't fail because they did turn out their lights and were able to take the pressure off the grid. But that's how we know kind of what our capacity is right now. We have about 17,000 megawatts of ask from AI data center companies for power. So that's the future requirement to be able to fuel all of the AI data center demand. Is it's 1.5 times all of the power that we're using right now. So what we have said is we want to create a model for data center companies to come to Alberta, and we're going to give them a sort of a preferential approval if they build their own power. We've seen this before because our oil sands operations did something very similar. They didn't want to wait around for the public provider to approve their power plants. They just built them, and then they overbuilt, and we were able to build transmission lines so they could sell the extra back into the grid. And I think that would be the perfect model. If AI data centers are able to build their own power, create some excess, and then be able to provide some stability to our grid, then we both benefit from that. And so we've got a number of different companies that we have indicated that that's our preference. We did start off by allowing for a small amount of access to our current power grid, but it's conditional. It's on the condition that as you grow, you're going to be adding your own power. I think that's the only way to do it. The advantage that we have in Alberta, though, is we're cold. Those of us who like to go away for warm holidays often forget that that actually has an advantage when you're trying to cool down big pieces of industrial equipment. But that is one of the ways in which it'll be more cost effective. We have almost limitless gas. I should have mentioned that we've got 1.8 trillion barrels of oil, of which 165 billion barrels are recoverable at today's rate, but we've got 1.36 quadrillion cubic feet of gas, of which we can currently access about 144 trillion. And so that is almost inexhaustible from a natural gas supply. Plus we've got this pore space that I was mentioning. So those who want to do carbon capture along with it to reduce the emissions profile can. We've got abundant water supplies as well, although increasingly AI data centers are using different types of products for cooling so that they don't have to use water. We've got great connections. So we've got an international airport in both Calgary and Edmonton that can connect to the world so people can come in and out. And we've got a well-trained workforce. We are now also a growing destination for technology applications. I was very surprised to hear when I was looking at the recent numbers. We've got about 155,000 workers, direct workers in oil and gas, and about 195,000 in technology. And so we already are at a point where more people are in that tech space. So what's going to happen if we become not only a center for AI data center development, but all of the use cases that happen around how that, about who is going to be the tenants of those data centers and all of the incredible innovation that's going to happen. I'm very encouraged by it. I went to a conference a few months ago just at CERAWeek in Houston, and Saudi Aramco CEO was speaking about how they're already applying AI to their operations, and they found 499 use cases for AI just within their own operations. And one of them allows them to look at all their data so that they can predict where pipelines might corrode, so that they can go in and proactively repair something that's under stress before it breaks. Like these, it made me wonder as I walked away, well, what are the other 498 use cases? I want to find out. But if that is just one way in which AI data can be applied to one company and one industry in one country, it just says to me that when you manufacture intelligence, the opportunities are endless. And we certainly want Alberta to be at the heart of that.
As we look forward to the Global Energy Show Canada in a few weeks, these two paths, Minister Hodgson's sovereign compute and Premier Smith's resilient blueprint, are converging. The recent milestones of the Canada-Alberta MOU have set the stage, and what we can see is the age of energy intelligence in real-life action. Don't forget to register for Global Energy Show Canada at www.globalenergyshow.com. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Energy Connects podcast. A big thank you also to our amazing production team for bringing these episodes to life. And you can go to energyconnects.com for comprehensive coverage of the energy industry and for more podcast episodes like this. Don't forget to follow us on social media and subscribe to our newsletter for regular updates. Thank you, and I'll see you soon on the next episode of the Energy Connects podcast.